It's an honor for me to introduce to you today a family that I am so proud of. You're going to learn their story in just a few moments. I want to introduce this family to you in shifts, and so I'm going to step away from the lectern here. I want you to meet the Filipova family, but first I want you to meet Papa Yulian. Yulian Filipova was one of my students here this last spring in our preaching class, preaching to the contemporary world at the Theological Seminary. And Yulian, always nice to have you here. You're usually sitting about right in that row, row number 2. Yes. I want to let you, since you're a preacher, you just hold that microphone, because this man has an incredible story. Now, I'm going to bring the rest of the family in for where we're going in our Christmas journey today, but Yulian, I want to start in Bulgaria. What was the town you were born in Bulgaria?
Vidin.
Vilin?
Vidin.
Vilin.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the Danube.
You're born into a Christian home. What denomination was it?
Atheists.
Oh, you were an atheist home.
Yeah.
So this was back during the communist era.
Yes, exactly.
You just hold that a little closer to you.
Okay.
During the communist era. Okay, so no church.
Nope.
No God.
Religion was opium for the masses.
Opium for the masses.
Atheism, what was taught in school, atheism at home,
Yeah.
atheism everywhere. Bible forbidden.
But God obviously had his eye on you from the very beginning.
Yes.
I want to start the story age 13. We've got a couple gun stories. Let's take the first gun story, shotgun.
Okay. I was very inventive boy.
Yes.
I decided to make a rifle myself, or better say, kind of shotgun.
Yes.
With pellets. And one day I decided to try the power of my shotgun and to see if it's able to go through the windshield of a car that was parked about 70 yards away from home.
Yeah.
And of course, I was eager to do that. And I put extra gunpowder, extra pellets in my shotgun. And because of this, I gave the shot, but it came backwards right into my face.
The gun exploded in your face.
Yes.
They rush you to the hospital.
Yeah.
The doctor is worried about your having eyesight at all. And then he makes, for a communist doctor, a most interesting statement to you.
I was sitting in the room under a microscope, and he was doing something on me, and he explained that my eyes were totally covered with the gunpowder, and this was what prevented me of seeing. And he said, he made a remarkable comment. Atheist doctor.
What did he say?
I don't know if there is God in heaven, but if there is one, pray that my hand stay still.
Wow. Did you pray?
Oh. that was the first time I took serious God. I didn't know who this God may be.
I'll hold this for you.
I just decided to try and said, God, if you really exist, just help me to have my eyesight and hold the hand of this doctor.
You got through that procedure. You were still able to see. Did you become a believer then?
Actually, I was able to see even without the glasses that the doctor has promised me I will have to wear. But amazingly, the human nature is so resistant to God's grace. I was the same unbeliever as before.
So this Bulgarian teenager turns 20. Is it mandatory military service in Bulgaria?
It is,
okay, it was. All right. So you're in the army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our son-in-law is home. They just arrived last night. He's in the U.S. Army. He's a U.S. Army Ranger, going to Iraq in February. Yeah. So you're in the army. You have to be. Another gun story. Three life-threatening accidents. But let's just take accident number 1.
Well, we were at the shooting range, and we were done shooting.
Yeah.
I was about to race. We were lying down. And in this moment, I had the impression I was glued to the ground, as if somebody had sat over my body and I couldn't move. And nobody was around in 10, 12 feet area. And I started asking myself, what's going on? And in the split of a second, I just heard a shot. It happened that one of my fellow soldiers has forgotten to empty the magazine of his AK-47.
Yeah.
And from a distance of about 10 feet. He gave a shot. Had I be able to stand up at this moment, I'll be hit by the bullet for sure.
So you feel this unseen hand pushing you down, and you believe in God then?
No. It's amazing how human beings are resistant towards God's calling, and God had to shout into my ears in order to hear.
Yeah. 2 more life-threatening incidents, we'll leave those out.
Yeah.
Because I want to go to that moment. You're in the army and you get into a fist fight and you fight with the wrong man.
Yeah, that was the wrong man. I beat him up. But really, I'm not proud of it, especially now. And even then, I wasn't proud because just few minutes after the fight, I realized too late that the guy was the nephew of the colonel of the unit, of the boss of our military unit.
Yeah.
And that meant, for me, a military tribunal and a 6 months of prison if they charge me.
But amazingly, somebody shows up in prison with you to visit you.
No, I've never went to prison.
Aye.
I just decided to try again praying to God as I did at the age of 13.
All right.
And I prayed as never before. And God did a miracle. He worked on the heart of this young fellow. And he came to me, apologized for being offensive. And he said, don't worry, all charges dropped. I spoke with my uncle. You're okay.
You believe in God now?
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to come out here. You believe, so it took that almost jail sentence.
Yeah.
And so what did you do with your belief in God then?
Well, I went to the university to pursue my engineering degree.
So you're out of the army now?
Out of the army.
Engineering degree.
Yes.
All right.
And I was on a quest for this God who saved my life, who did so many miracles for me. And I said, okay, I'll try first with the Christians. I didn't know. And I was on a quest for a Bible. And one day, by chance, I discovered that one of my fellow students had a Bible. So I asked him to lend me his Bible every day for 2 or 3 hours a day.
So he loaned you his Bible 2 to 3 hours a day?
Yes.
Yeah.
And one Friday evening, I was reading in Matthew, and I came to the place in Matthew 7:7, where it says, ask, and it will be given to you, seek, and you'll find, knock, and it will be open to you. Then I just knelt on the spot and said, Lord, if it were you who saved my life so many times in a row, then tomorrow I'll go with this fellow to the Adventist church.
Because he had invited you to come to church.
Yes,
okay.
although he wasn't an Adventist either.
Oh, he wasn't?
No.
Okay.
And if they give me over there a Bible, I'm not telling anybody about that.
Okay.
If they give me a Bible, I'll know it was you who saved my life.
So you go to church the next morning.
And after the Sabbath school, I sat on the first row, and a guy approached me and said, would you like to have a Bible? No, I'll be thrilled to have one. And in a minute or two, he disappeared and brought me the Bible. I opened it, and on the first page I wrote, ask, and it will be given to you, seek, and you will find, knock, and it will be open to you.
Isn't that something? Hallelujah, hallelujah. But the story's not over. The story's not over because a little later in the worship service, just as we're getting ready to do here, the offering plate came by. And what did you do?
When the offering plate in the same service came by, I put there all the money I had in my wallet that was worth 1/3 of my stipend.
You just emptied your wallet into
I
it.
emptied my wallet to the fullest, and I knew till the end of the month, probably about a week or 10 days, I didn't have any money, anything to eat, nothing.
You just gave all your food money away.
Yeah.
You gave it to God.
Yes.
Out of gratitude.
Yes, I was so delighted and so grateful for what he has done for me.
Praise God. So then what happens?
Well, guess what? Normally after 10 days you have to lose a lot of weight. I didn't lose even a pound.
You ate for 10 days.
I ate for 10 days.
Because?
Every day, people will meet me on the street from the same church that saw me just once. They'll recognize me and say, why don't you come for lunch or dinner? And even twice I was invited for breakfast.
Now, you told me, when we were sharing this story, you said that you had your meals covered for the 10 days
Yes.
that you were without a stipend.
That's
Isn't that
true.
something? Yeah. All right. Are you a believer now with all your heart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you need time to read the Bible.
I needed time to read the Bible. On the next day after the Sabbath, I got the Bible, Sunday. I read the whole day, from the morning till the evening.
Incredible.
And as the evening approached, so I had to prepare for my classes on the next day. And I said, Lord, I would like to have time to read your book. And then I remembered what I have wrote on the first page of the Bible. I knelt down and prayed, please, Lord, give me time to read the Bible.
I want the students who are here to listen to this now. All right. So you ask God, you need extra time to read the Bible.
Yes.
How did God answer that prayer?
On the next day, in the morning, I went to the university. And it was strange. Many people were coming back from the university, and it was a very early morning. I said, what's wrong with these guys? And when I approached the building, I saw a big poster saying, strike. All the communistic professors out of the university. It was the time of the change of communism to democracy in Bulgaria, and the student association decided to throw out the communistic professors.
So how much time did God give you to study the Bible through this strike?
58 days in a row.
Can you imagine that? 58 days. Now, I don't want to suggest anything. If there are any university students who stayed home over the Christmas break, because we are a non-union school here, so don't even bother praying that prayer. 58 days, and you read the Bible every day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every day, and I was every day with the pastor asking him questions.
Wow.
I read also the Great Controversy during this time.
My. And you go back to that church, and eventually you meet this beautiful young lady named Milena.
And she was afraid of me.
And she was afraid.
I wasn't a very Christian-looking guy.
But you fell in love.
Yes.
You began to bring your engineering colleagues and friends.
Yes.
You led them to Christ.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to invite Milena and your daughter Laura to come and join us here, because the story now expands a bit, Yulian. And God is still, obviously, strategically at work in your life. You fall in love with this lovely lady. You ladies stand right here by Papa, by your husband. You fall in love with this lovely lady, Milena. You get married. Laura is born.
Yeah.
Where were you born, Laura?
Bulgaria.
Where in Bulgaria?
Vidin.
Vidin. The same town where you were born, yeah? Okay. But you know that God is saying something to you. You're sensing in your heart that God has called you to ministry. Yes. And by the way, having heard you preach in that class, I know God has called you to preach. You're a strong preacher and a very careful biblical thinker. So the Lord opens a way for you to go to Bogenhofen, is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you go to Bogen. 1 year, or how long were you there?
No, for 5 years.
5 years, so you go to school. And during that time, Laura, are you in a church school?
Yes.
Or were there any church schools in Bulgaria?
No.
No church schools. But in Bogenhofen, you get to go to a church school.
Yeah.
Then the call comes to ministry, and you're out back to Bulgaria.
That's right.
Any master's program over there in Europe that was available?
Just in Germany, but many people were encouraging me to come to Andrews.
So they said, come to Andrews.
Yes.
You got a sponsorship.
The Germans will say jein, yes and no.
Okay, I get it.
I didn't have any sponsorship. Just in the last day before I left Bogenhofen, people came to me and put money in my hand, and they said, this money are to pay your tickets and the first tuition to come to Andrews. Afterwards, you're on your own.
You're on your own. And they didn't give any money for Laura,
no.
11 years old at the time when you came, to be in church school. Yes. So you get to Andrews University, and I want to cut right to this closing moment. The very next morning, after you arrive, Milena, at Andrews University, you're over in the apartments,
yes.
Beechwood, at Beechwood Court, and then you're coming out of the apartments, and you meet somebody. You knew this person for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Just by accident, a person met us. We've never seen this woman before. And she approaches us and says, you look new here.
Yeah.
Do you have kids? Yes, we have one daughter. Where is she going to go to school? We said, of course, to the public school. We are not rich people to send our kid to an Adventist institution. And she said, no. Adventist education is not just for rich people, she said. You go to Ruth Murdoch, you talk with Dr. Swinier, the
Principal at the
principal
school.
at that
Right.
time of Ruth Murdoch, and he'll find a way. Well, it was surprising to me, but anyway, we both did it. I spoke with Dr. Swinier, and then he said yes. And I thought, probably because of my Slavic accent and because of my broken English, the guy didn't understand that we don't have the money to pay this tuition. And I tried to rephrase and to explain, and he said, I understand what you said,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Praise
And
God.
then he said something very important. They're faithful Adventists who love Christian education, who love your daughter. And faithfully they give money to support the school, to support children that cannot afford to pay the full tuition.
And Laura, you knew that you were going to have to be in public school. You had been in public school in Bulgaria, and you realized we're going to have to be in public school now. When you got the word that you were going to be able to get in Ruth Murdoch, were you happy with that at all?
Of course.
And you've been at Ruth Murdoch now how many years? Is this your
This is the fourth year,
And
yeah.
what grade are you in?
8th.
This is your last year at Ruth
Yeah.
Murdoch. You go. What do you like best about Ruth Murdoch Elementary School?
Well, the teachers at Ruth Murdoch really care about you, and they just show me how to live a Christian life by how they were living it.
Yeah. Well, we are so proud that A, you're graduating this year. B, that God has a dream for your life just as much as He had a dream for Mama and Papa. And C, Papa, that God is going to continue to provide for you and your little family while you are here. When you're done, you're going back to Bulgaria?
My initial plan when I came here was to go to the PhD before I go back. But I don't know. Right now, it
I
doesn't.
hope you go back to Bulgaria. Bulgaria needs you.
I would like to.
Thank you, Yulian and Milana and Laura. God bless you. We are so honored
too,
to have
God.
you part of our
Thank
Pioneer
you very
family.
much.
God bless you. How about a warm congratulations to our family who have found God's help